You know, for this, we're going way back to the beginning. 8 years ago, I was just a wee little junior in high school. I wasn't exactly the most sociable kid, but I did have a very close group of friends that would love to play games together. We would spend most of our nights after school online playing Team Slayer or custom games in Halo 3 or Reach. God, the things we made in Forge mode, I'm really excited to recreate them all in the PC version. But one thing that I always loved was sniping. You throw me into Valhalla, give me a sniper, and oh god, it was the greatest time, sniping my cares away into the wee hours of the night. About this time is when I started playing this wonderful game called League of Legends. I remember it was back during Yorick's initial release, and holy cow, that's a fucking long time. My very first game I played was with Kale, and that's why I have this super ultra rare Judgment Kale skin, ha 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 flex. I liked her look, but her gameplay really wasn't my style. Going through all the champions, I finally noticed Caitlyn. She had a big ol' sniper and I fell in love with her immediately. And even to this day, she is my #1 league waifu. Now at the time, Caitlyn had been out for only a few months, so her kit was pretty basic. I mean, it still kinda is, but there's a lot of fancy things you can do with it. And that, my friends, is what I'm going to teach you today. Welcome to the ultimate guide to Caitlyn. To start things off, let's go over her abilities. Her passive is called Headshot. Every auto attack Caitlyn makes generates a stack of Headshot. These stacks are doubled when she is attacking in brush, so Caitlyn Ivern bot lane, huh? Huh? Anybody? At 6 stacks or 5 in a bush, she fires a headshot dealing bonus damage. Now this attack used to not work against turrets, but then they changed it so it did, but then they changed it so that it didn't again. And eventually, as in now, they brought it back so now it does again. Come on, Riot, make up your mind. What's next? Another Rise rework? Oh ho, there it is, folks. This video's own hilarious and original joke award. Let's give it up for Dead Memes. Yay, Dead Memes. Her Q is Piltover Peacemaker. After a brief pause, Caitlyn will fire a projectile in a target direction. This shot will expand in width when it hits the first target, but it will deal 60% damage to all enemies it passes through afterwards. This is your main harass skill. The range on this is super long, and the damage is pretty decent, and considering Caitlyn has the longest base range attack in the game, it makes it perfect for all-around harassment. Also notice how I said base attack range in the game? Because champions like Tristana and Jinx eventually outrange her in the late game due to their passives and stuffs. Can I also take the time to mention how Annie's attack range is only slightly shorter than Caitlyn's? I mean, come on, what the fuck is that? She already makes ADCs non-existent when she's a support. Why can't I freely auto-attack her when she tries to poke me in lane? I don't like it, therefore it's broken. So Riot, I'm gonna have to tell my mom on you. Yeah, you didn't expect that, did ya? Her W, Yordle Snap Trap, is all about, well, traps. Passively, you store a charge of Yordle Snap Trap. 3 charges at level 1 and up to 5 at max rank. Actively, you spend the charges to place one of these irresistible traps. I mean, come on, look how delicious this fucking cherry looks. Who wouldn't want to grab it? The traps last from 30 to 50 seconds at max rank and will root any champion that steps over them. And when they're rooted, Caitlyn's first attack against them is a guaranteed headshot at double her base attack range. And let me tell you, that's a huge fucking range. Also, while they are snared, they are guaranteed to take full damage from her Q no matter how many units it passed through. Now this trap used to be pretty useless, but since they reworked it, it makes her synergize with pretty much every support in the game. She used to only be good with sustain or utility supports like Janna or Nami. But now everyone is good with her. You throw her in there with a Thresh or a Pike, put a trap down on the enemy when they get stunned or hooked, and you make your opponent wish they had stayed home to bake delicious cookies with their mothers. But to me, I think her best supports are going to be Lux, Nami, or Morgana. If they land a binding or a bubble when you put a trap underneath them, they'll be snared for the rest of their life, which will be about 5 seconds after that. Her E is called 90 caliber net. You fire a net from your gun, damaging and slowing your first target hit. Caitlyn will also be knocked back in the opposite direction. Now targets hit from this will also gain the bonus headshot effect from your Yordle Snap Trap, allowing your first auto against them during the slow to deal bonus damage at double your base range. This is your only escape tool, so use it wisely. If you don't have it and you get jumped by an angry Rengar who has daddy issues and needs to take his aggression out on random people on the internet, you've got no hope of surviving. But this move can also be used offensively. I'll explain that later in the combo section where I show you how to make all them spicy plays. You can also use it to jump over small ledges and even Baron and Dragon Pit. But don't mess it up or your team will never forgive you, and neither will I. And finally, your ultimate is Ace in the Hole. It's a really long-range point-and-click spell that after 1 second of channeling will fire a large projectile at a single target, dealing a bunch of damage. But this projectile can be blocked by other units, so make sure there's no one around your target that can block it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a really simple ult, so there's not much need to explain it. Only thing I can think of is it doesn't always have to be used as an execute. You can just ult someone in lane or before a team fight to damage them early. Just be sure they don't have any sustain or it's kinda pointless. So for Masteries, you have quite a lot of options to pick from. Keystones, you can take most of the precision ones and be just fine. Press the attack is the one I usually take, pair it with your main combo and you'll be able to deal lots of damage to whoever dare oppose you. Take Fleet if you want to be a little more safe or don't have a sustained support, or Lethal Tempo if you want to have maximum pew pew time. Other Masteries you want to take are Triumph or Overheal. I always take Alacrity and Coup de Grace. Secondaries I still stick with Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm, just because your range is so long it's really easy to stay at max health while dishing out them sick deeps. And for your little baby ruins, you take attack speed, damage, and health. For items, you want to try and build an Infinity Edge first. Ideally, you'll want to stay in lane long enough to be able to afford a boyfriend sword, but if you can't, get a pickaxe instead. After your first major component, you'll want to finish your Berserker Greaves first. More autos means more headshots, which means more montages for your YouTube channel. Finish your IE after Berserker Greaves and you're 1/3 of the way of becoming an actual champion who can contribute to the team. Next up is an attack speed item. Rapid Fire Cannon is what I prefer because it makes your ridiculous range even more, ridiculouser. Plus the empowered extra long range headshot damage hurts like a big ol' bitch. Next is situational. If you need to sustain, go for Bloodthirster. If not, you can get another attack speed or crit item. Usually the item is going to be Static Shiv, but then you get yourself a Bloodthirster. Finish off the build with an Armor Pen item depending on what you're up against. Does the enemy team have a lot of sustain? Get this one. Do they have a lot of tanks that can outdamage you because they're tanks and playing ADC makes me sad? Then get this one. Or, if you're super ahead, grab a Guardian Angel because the only one you can trust to keep yourself alive is you. Now that items are out of the way, let's go over how to actually play Caitlyn as well as some big dick plays and combos. Laning phase starts out basic, farm while looking for every opportunity to poke your lane opponent. Whether it's with auto attacks or spamming Q, it's your job to poke them. And with every little poke, their rage will grow, slowly tilting them towards that Alt F4 combo that we all dream of. You've got to take advantage of your range in most matchups. Caitlyn is a mid to late game champion. If you don't oppress the hell out of your lane opponent, they're going to end up shoving their biscuits right up your ass because Caitlyn needs like 3 items to be a good champion. Mid game, it's time to start those juicy team fights. By now you should have your rapid fire cannon, so look for every opportunity to get some extra long range pokes out before an actual team fight starts. But be careful. Nobody likes a frontline Caitlyn who gets picked off because she couldn't resist shooting a Teemo in his stinky face. In any case, any team fight you should be staying behind your team, dishing out them deeps behind a safe fleshy wall of your randoms. Now it's time for late game. Congratulations, you fought through the tilt and hardships of being an AD carry in this day and age where everyone and everything can kill you. Even Scuttle Crab, look at him. Now it's time to start pewing everything that moves. Play smart, stay behind your team, use the extensive reach of your massive range to destroy any opponent who dares say that your waifu is trash. As for combos, Caitlyn doesn't really have many fancy tricks. She's not as mechanically complicated as say like Lee Sin, Irelia, or Teemo. But what she does have can make a big impact in lane if you can pull them off correctly. The first one I want to go over is the classic trap behind the tower. You can pull this off no matter what side you're on, but it's a little easier to pull off on red side. All you do is you put a trap behind the enemy tower. It's hard to see if you don't have the right camera angle, and if your enemy isn't paying attention, it can almost guarantee they step in it. Caitlyn's main burst combo is going to be W auto, E auto, Q R. If you're fast enough with your EQ combo, you can start casting your Q right after you E, so you basically fire them off at the same time. Now this combo is flexible. You can simply EQ, WQ, and finish it off with your ult. Or even the legendary strat of just auto attacking them to death. Level priority, you always want to max your Q first. Max your E second if you need the escape more often. If not, max your W, which will give you more traps and more bonus damage. Some smaller notable tricks with Caitlyn is at max rank you can basically create a wall of traps at the enemy inhibitor turrets, making sieging a whole lot easier. Her E can be used to hop over small walls, but if you're next to a wall that you can't hop over, you can fire off the net and completely eliminate the knockback to keep up with your target. This last one is super situational. I don't think I've ever actually intentionally pulled it off with my diamond mechanics. And so, my children, I have taught you all you need to know about my League waifu. Now, it is your turn. Take this knowledge and just start spamming Caitlyn into every game you play. I don't care if it's top. I don't care if it's jungle. I don't care if it's AP mid Caitlyn. Actually, you know, that's a really good idea for a video. Now if you'll excuse me, I gotta go before every single League YouTuber in the world makes a video. Oh no! How did this happen? Oh god!